The Astro-Chads are at it again. This time it's Aquarius, and I have to say, I don't know much, very little about this sign. I know there's some connotation with an age change. I know that, and I think before Dr. Narco Longo takes it away here with this awesome presentation, I just think that the Astro-Chads continues to define itself as the premier introductory to astrology course on the internet. I'm about to learn a ton. The audience is about to learn a ton. Dr. Narco Longo, Aquarius.
Right. So Aquarius is the water bearer. That's
Okay.
the aqua. Now the name Aquarius, it's associated with the meaning water bearer. But according to many, it just means having to do with water. So Aquarius, like you would kind of expect from that word. So aqua, a lot of people make the mistake of assuming Aquarius is a water sign. And Aquarius is one of the hardest to put your finger on, to pin down, to really articulate. I think any good astrologer, Aquarius will probably be the last sign that they have a real good grasp on, just because it is, well, to start off, it's the rarest sign of the zodiac, at least in the Western world, according to all, birth data that is collected in the West. We pretty much know that Aquarius is the rarest zodiac sign. So the most common is either going to be Scorpio or Virgo in most countries around the world. Aquarius is the least common. You're less likely to run into them to start off. So the accumulation of personal experience tends to be a little bit less with Aquariuses. Aquariuses like to keep to themselves. They're very self-oriented. You'll find this, they're on the same axis as Leo, who's also all about the self. Aquarius is directly opposite Leo. So you'll find they're both all about the self in different ways, but we'll get into that. So Aquarius is the water bearer. The name means having to do with water, but it's actually an air sign. So Aquarius is an air sign. Now, the symbol for Aquarius is the water bearer. The animal, it's the only zodiac sign where the animal, there is no animal associated with Aquarius. So across the board, almost always, you'll find it depicted as a human or an angel. So an angel or a human. And I tend to side with angel. Now, a lot of people will go, well, what about Virgo, the Virgin, Gemini, the twins? Well, that's the symbol. That's the symbol and kind of the constellation, the depiction in the constellation. But then you go to the animal. So when if we're on a graph, if we're graphing or charting all this, then you go to the next column, right? Would say in the symbol column, you have many zodiac signs that have a human in the symbol. But when we get to the animal column, they almost all have a corresponding animal. So, Virgo, Gemini, these have animals that correspond with them. Now, you can disagree on what that animal is, but many people agree on their animal qualities. Aquarius is the sign of the zodiac that is most geared towards humanity. So there's little to no animal influence. This is why you'll see Aquarius being associated with humanitarianism. Aquarius rules humanitarianism. So we get the word Aquarius because of springtime rains happening in many places around the world around the time of Aquarius. Then you also have the fact that it comes right before the final sign of the zodiac, Pisces, which is the water and is the depths. And you could even say is floods. So right before the floods comes this water from above. And you could say there's a little bit of a story there, a mythology within the zodiac. And Aquarius is the dumping out of the water. So Aquarius rules rain. That's what most people are missing with the water versus air conundrum. People think that it's a mistake, or it's showing that the zodiac is wrong, or oh, there's actually 4 water signs. No, all that's happening is Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is where we get the word rain coming down from above. Rain.
Yeah. Right.
Uranus. It's also where we get the word urine, which is rain coming from above. Just
Right.
another type. And so you have urine, Urane. Yes, that is the rain coming from above. That is Aquarius's ruling planet. So you find rains this time of year, many places around the world. Aquarius, rain time. Okay, we get it. That's the rain coming from above, is the water bearer pouring it out from above. So there we go. It's an air sign. Aquarius rules the skies, you could say, the heavens, especially the stars. Aquarius is the sign that rules the stars, the heavenly bodies, astronomy, and astrology. Aquarius is, not only does it rule that, but Aquarians excel at these arts, at these
Wow.
sciences. And you could say that their Aquarius is a little bit of a dogged-on sign. Like they get a bad reputation sometimes because, kind of like Pisces, they're at the end of the zodiac. They don't inhabit the body as much as the other zodiac signs. They're a little bit more out there. They're a little bit more up in the heavens, in the subconscious, the unconscious, the imagination, especially the imagination. Aquarius are your daydreamers of the zodiac. So with this, they really lend themselves to becoming great astrologers. But there's a lot of things that they can find it's hard for them to be good at or fit into. Aquarius is a very out of the box sign. They're the most out of the box. So Aquarius are the caricatures of the zodiac. They're the cartoon characters.
Huh.
And they're very eclectic. They rule electricity. They rule elasticity, and they rule eclectic. I don't know how to say this, but if you're eclectic, eclecticity, I don't know, but something like that. So eclectic, electric, elastic.
Yeah.
Aquarius is all about that. And they rule communication, long distance communication, and technologically aided communication.
Wow.
So smartphones, social media, and not to say that you can lump all technology into one sign of the zodiac, but cutting edge innovation, inventions, revolution, digital, cyber, all of this is ruled by Aquarius. So this is where we kind of would begin that age of Aquarius conversation is, can anyone really deny that the age of Aquarius is here, or we're at its doorstep, or because you have all of these things dropping out of the sky, life radically changing.
Right.
The crystal technology, the digital, the cyber, the electricity in every single home, the wireless phones, the you name it, the Wi-Fi, the everything. It's all so different from whatever happened the last 2,000 years, regardless of your alternative timelines in history, stuff like that. So you had most in the last age of Pisces. By the way, the ages go backwards. That'll be a topic for another day. The age of Pisces, you saw water travel. Information wanted to go from one continent to another, had to go through the water. Okay. Now almost everything was going through the air at first. Now it's just digital through the ether. So that's Aquarius. And let's just get into the word a little bit more, maybe some of the personality types. We went over that as the angel. Now, we can't mention the angel part without talking about how Aquarius also rules angles. So angels. Because remember, what's an angel? It's a human with with the ability to fly or to float or to
Right.
switch dimensions, however, go up into the heavens, however you want to look at it. That's Aquarius. The angle, Aquarius rules angles because it rules advanced like trigonometry, geometry, arithmetic, and it rules astrology and astronomy as well, which were the original complex equations that they were coming up with and stuff. It was all for the stars, and Aquarius, that's right up their alley. So you have the astrology, the arithmetic, and in both of these systems, you need a lot of angles, and you're doing a lot of, okay, angels, angles. How can we completely tie this together?
Yep.
In the body, Aquarius rules the ankles.
Huh.
Ankles. So the
Yep.
calves, and the ankles. Everything below the knee and above the foot. So the ankles, especially down by the ankles. Angels, angles, and ankles. Yes, sir.
So
And then,
go ahead. Because I got something that's going to wrap this all up. Like, so Astro Chads is an Aquarian series. It's about astrology. We're communicating through crystal technology, through long distance communication. I'm in New England, you're in Florida. So, I
mhm,
mean, what we're doing right now is very Aquarian. Would you agree?
yes. So Aquarius rules all this innovation and, all the social media, the chat rooms, the Xbox Live, and everyone's connected. Everyone has knowledge of what's happening around.
Yeah.
Aquarius, the motto for Aquarius is I know. So it's the age of knowledge. So you'll find knowledge is not really an issue in this age. I can know
Right.
anything I want to. If I want to look it up, it's all at my fingertips. Now, the issue is perhaps too much knowledge,
Yeah.
not being able to decipher it or sift or tell the good from the bad. Also, the disinformation. It's just a flood of information. So it's a flood of knowledge. And Aquarius this is just the beginning of the age of Aquarius. So we're going to see how things pan out. But it's all kind of just floodgates opened, and it's just like all this, who knows, every Snapchat. Think about how like everything they ever wrote in stone, like 6,000 years ago, is still like here today. We can see like all their minuscule little, imagine like every Snapchat you've ever sent, like being written in stone forever,
Oh no.
we might be at the cusp of that. But Aquarius, knowledge, technology, okay, those are kind of the key points. Well, what else? I mentioned Aquarius is very cartoonish. So if we just start listing off some Aquariuses, we'll see what I'm talking about. Johnny Rotten, okay, from the Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran,
Okay.
right? Bob Marley,
Okay.
Aquarius, right? You've got, pull up the list. We usually do this at the end, but
Yeah.
you'll find they often have this like cartoon colored hair or
Yeah.
cartoonish look to them, where it's just so unique, bohemian, out of the box.
The word that comes to mind is anomalous. Like Aquarians are sort of anomalies, aren't they?
Mhm,
There's no other Ed Sheeran. There's no other Bob Marley. Maybe there's people that look alike or have similar features, but they're
mhm,
one of a kind. You know?
yes. Oh yeah. This is like a rule of thumb with Aquarius is they're almost always outside the box and a little zany. In fact, zany probably goes back to Uranus is also Janus. Okay, so we were talking about urine and stuff like that and rain. Well, Janus is also Uranus. So that's where you get your janitors, okay? Cleaning up the bathroom, things like that. Janus is the god who rules portals and doorways, right? And you could say that these are like the doors of the unconscious, the portals to other dimensions. So Aquarius is all about that.
Wow,
Wizardry, alchemy, astrology. Yeah.
man. You know what blows my mind when you talk about the age of Aquarius and the technology over distances and things like that, and just Snapchat and all these things, right? That are just apparent. when you explain it like that, it's very difficult to deny that we are entering the age of Aquarius. But for the last 2 years, I've been thinking to myself, man's relationship with technology is probably going to be his biggest battle for the next century. And whether he uses it as a tool or it's a crutch or a method of escape to different dimensions, as you say. But what's wild to me, man, on this astrological knowledge journey is how I don't know about this stuff specifically, but my instincts confirm it. And then when I learn about it, it's like, you know?
Yeah. So let's get into the personality of Aquarius a little. Aquarius is where we get the word awkward. Aquarius.
Yeah.
Awkward. So you'll find they're very often loners. They like isolation. They can be very icy, have a cold disposition, distant, but they also have a love of humanity and a love of what's right. I wouldn't say justice, but humanitarianism. And they love philanthropy, things like
Wow.
that. So one of kind of the unofficial Aquarius mottos is like loving humanity from a distance, so they kind of can have a hard time bringing people in close, but they have a realistic view, large, zoomed out view of humanity and care for humanity in the grand scale, if that makes sense.
It
So,
does. Because aqua kind of reminds me of the word equal aqua. So it's sort of like
yes,
they like
yes,
justice,
no, perfect. Equality, wow, perfect. That's, yeah, really, absolutely. Hit the nail on the head. That's equality. You also have Aquiline, who
Yeah.
is eagle constellation, which is sometimes associated with Scorpio, or the Aqui, right? Aqui means like bird-like or hawk-like. An aquiline face means you have like a bird or like a Roman nose. So aquiline. What does Scorpio and Aquarius have to do with each other? Well, they're the two signs that rule genius, like in extreme genius. Because genius is Janus, by the way.
Yeah.
Genius is
Yeah.
Janus, who is Uranus. So Uranus is everyone should know who Janus is, but they don't, because it's the only planet where they went with the Greek name instead of the Roman. For what reason? Why? Why not use Janus? So Janus is what the Romans called Uranus, but for some reason the Greeks called Uranus Uranus. But with all the other planets, we use the Roman name, like Jupiter, right? Now, we don't call Jupiter Zeus, we call him Jupiter, the planet. So with all the planets, we use the Roman names, except for
Janus.
Janus. Thank you. Except for
Right.
Janus. Uranus. So Uranus is supposed to be Janus if we're going with the rest of the scheme.
Wow. It seems like if you were to engage with an Aquarius, they like to be social on occasion. You know what I mean? Like they like to step out, but when they step out, it might be purposeful or it might be something that they're into. They might do a social gathering if it's something that interests them intellectually versus
Yes.
maybe a Leo who wants to go out just to show people, hey, I'm here. I'm the show, right?
Yeah. Just to wrap up why I was talking about Uranus and Janus and Scorpio and Aquarius is that Uranus rules Aquarius, but exalts in Scorpio. So that's why these two signs have to do with going to the bathroom, like Uranus, urine, anus, Uranus. We talked about Scorpio a lot with the potty talk and stuff like that. That comes from Scorpio. Aquarius is a little bit less associated with that, but you still have that same ruling planet. So Uranus is where you get Aquarius. And yes, so awkward is one word. Equal, like you said, equal rights. We find here's the next one is queerness. Queerness. Aquarius rules queerness. So the word queer comes from Aquarius, Aquarius, right? Also, inquiry and information, the pursuit of information, knowledge, right? The pursuit of knowledge, inquiry, to ask questions.
Hmm.
Aquarius are the most inquisitive. And if you look at, so inquisitive and inquiry, questions, Q, that Q comes from Aquarius. So they're curious too. Okay. Now that goes back to Mercury.
Yeah.
But why do Mercury and Uranus have so much in common? Because Uranus is the octave of Mercury, meaning he's like the leveled up Pokemon version, the
Wow.
leveled up. Mercury rules communication, like person to person, my mouth to your ears. We're talking, we're making gestures to each other, we're showing symbols to each other. That's Gemini. That's Mercury ruling Gemini. When we switch to like a ticker on or like the news is on, the ticker's gone by, getting updates popping everywhere, get messages through my pager goes off, I get
Pager.
um, having all these avenues open across the earth, right?
Yeah.
Aided through technology. That's Aquarius. That's
Wow.
that's Uranus, which rules Aquarius. That's so the signs get their flavor from their ruling planet. That's why it's
Yeah.
important to touch on the ruling planet always, because when you see a planet acting in different signs of the zodiac, you can pick up on that flavor. Like,
Yeah.
Cancer and Sag both rule expansion. Why? Because Jupiter rules Sag, but exalts in Cancer. So likewise, you have Aquarius ruling genius from Janus, okay, going to the bathroom and water falling from above from Uranus, and then Scorpio ruling both those things as well, because
Wow.
Uranus exalts in Scorpio. Okay. So queer, curious, inquiry, equality, like we were talking about. What else is Aquarius associated with? Well, I forget what language, a Latin root, acrian, a triacrian means 3 legs. So acrian, Aquarius rules the legs too. If you're looking at the leg as a whole, the 2 legs, Aquarius rules the 2 legs. Gemini, which we just talked about, how they're related, Gemini and Aquarius, Mercury and Uranus. Gemini rules the arms, the twins.
Yeah.
So like the step up, the next iteration would be the 2 legs, which are Aquarius. So Gemini, the 2 arms, Aquarius, the two legs. And if you're breaking down the leg as a whole, Capricorn rules the knees, Sagittarius rules the thigh, Aquarius rules the calf and ankle. So,
Man, I started thinking of some analogies in my head. Man, I'm having some sparks go off in my mind because remember how you were talking about Leo and Aquarius are at opposite ends of the spectrum, but there's some correlation there. One I thought of is Aquarius is going to watch the show from a distance, but Leo might be the show, right? And also maybe Aquarius is queer, as you mentioned. Leo is kind of the opposite of queer, in sort of being either a lion or a lioness. And it's like if a Leo so Aquarius communicates through technology over a distance, like you were saying, but Leo is going to be very upfront. So I'm seeing like these opposite parallels from the opposite ends of the zodiac.
Yeah, axes. They're like oxymorons, axis across from each other, having the same meaning but a little bit, opposite.
Right.
So you were touching on social interactions. Aquarius likes to go out and get attention if they know they're going to be the most unique person there.
Wow.
So Leo doesn't necessarily want to be the peacock. They might dress very extravagantly or flamboyantly, but that's not what they need. Leo can be the center, the heart of the party, the middle, right? Whereas Aquarius wants to be the most unique one at the party and kind of
So
kind of
yeah.
draw attention to themselves rather than demand it or command it or,
Okay.
call it.
So
Yeah,
question. Are
sure.
Aquariuses more likely to be freaks or are they freaks naturally?
Aquariuses are freaky. They
Okay.
are freaks. Like they're the most likely to get called a freak by like class mates.
Okay.
Like freak, weirdo.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and they're also Aquariuses are yeah.
I want to know your experience with Aquariuses. Like Aquariuses you've known and what your sort of experience with that has been.
Yeah, so my experience, I grew up with an Aquarius, and he was like the class. Um, he was like the can that got kicked around by the class. Like
Wow.
he was tall, good looking, like could have been at like played on sports teams, could have been one of the boys, but something about him was just like he couldn't resonate with the bros, and he always and it wasn't even that he was like submissive or like skittish or whatever. It was just like
His
uh,
inability to fit in was prototypical Aquarius, despite him having all
totally,
these statistics to
totally, totally.
wow.
Yeah, I mean he had nothing wrong going for him, just that he chose to act strangely and couldn't bring people in closely. And to this day, he just lives, but like kind of by himself. I don't know, still with his mom maybe, but not that that's a Aquarius thing. Okay, here's dude.
Okay.
Patrick Bateman is the Aquarius. He's
Wow.
played by Christian Bale, who is an Aquarius. Patrick Bateman is the Aquarius archetype. Now he's successful. They can also be like the cheap, like hippie, like vagabond. But he is that Aquarius, just ice cold, distant, removed from.
Yeah.
He's in his monologue always. You know what I mean? He's not in the moment. He's plotting, scheming, but he's got the fakest grin. He's just like Aquarius could be like that, like very
Wow.
plastic. Aquarius rules plasticity and plastic. So
And he was cold too. And he, despite, could have easily fit in with, what was it? Patrick Allen or something. What was that guy's name? I forget. Um,
Paul Allen. Is it
yeah,
Paul
yeah,
Allen?
Paul Allen. Yeah, his first kill. He could have fit in with those guys, but he was just too Aquarian. And okay, so does Aquarius have a connection with maybe psychos, maybe killers, maybe this
Okay,
anomalous nature might
so
lead to isolation?
it's close because Psycho. We're going to talk about Pisces next, which is the origin of all psi words with a P in front.
Yeah.
Psi, that goes back to Poseidon. That's Pisces. Why does Psyche have a C in it, right? Or well, or yeah, why is it spelled like that with a P and things like that?
PSY, yeah.
Psyche, Pisces, Poseidon. So all psychiatry, psychology, psychos, all of that stuff ruled by Aquarius. But we're getting real close to that with Aquarius. Sorry, Pisces, but we're getting real close to that with Aquarius.
Wow.
So Pisces rules like the unconscious mind.
Yeah.
Aquarius rules the subconscious, according to some.
So let's say you're a guy and you find out the girl you like is an Aquarius. What advice would you have for these men?
Okay, easy. Aquariuses are attracted to intelligence and knowledge and intuitions. So right off the bat, across the board, they're attracted to intelligence and information, but they tend to be more of the spiritual type. So you can be the judge of that if they're just kind of your more run-of-the-mill NPC or normie type. Then you want to wow them with information and knowledge if they're a little bit more of that spiritual hippie bohemian type, which so many Aquariuses are, you want to, you know, offer, present, or step into a kind of hippie alternative lifestyle. They want to be unique, and they want to be told how unique they are, recognize how unique they are, things like that. So they don't like being lumped in with other people. They don't. So yeah,
Wow.
Aquariuses can be distant too, though. So you find yourself, with one, and they might not have that. Like if you're with a Taurus, they're like a rock. They're like right next to you. You feel like they might even be really, earth signs, water signs can be really clingy. Not always, but with Aquarius, they're the opposite of clingy. They're like, okay, I'll see you in a year. See you in a year. They're
Oh,
the
wow.
opposite of clingy.
So they're sort of a distant by nature, and as a result, they can also go long distances without seeing a loved one or a love
Hmm.
interest.
Oh yeah, and they also might demand alone time. They also are the least likely to just be monogamous and settle down and have, family, things like that. But yeah.
So it sounds to me like the prototypical like career for an Aquarius would be like in a lab somewhere by themselves, maybe in IT, just
Hmm.
inputting information, getting a lot of info, sort of, on a computer or in a lab somewhere. What are some other potential careers that they could thrive in?
Yeah. So lab is great. That's a great one because Francis Bacon was an Aquarius who is
Wow.
the creator of science, or the scientific method. He's the father of science, Francis Bacon. He was an occultist and astrologer, like a hippie of his time, a total wizard. And, you know, science came out of that. So, very much Aquarius rules science. As much as it rules like spirituality and things like that, it also rules science and experimentation, hypothesis, things like that. So,
Wow. So Francis Bacon, he had some literature on Atlantis, as I recall, right?
yeah. Hmm.
He's pretty prolific guy. I've heard a lot of things about Mr. Francis Bacon.
Yeah. I'm a fan of his stuff.
Prototypical Aquarius, though. See, I didn't know that. So now when I think
Totally.
Aquarius, I'm going to think
Oh,
about that
dude.
guy.
Here's another one. Charles Darwin, another Aquarius. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna have to pull out the list. Um, Abraham Lincoln.
Okay,
Okay,
he's another guy who is so anomalous looking. There's no guy who
right.
looks like Abraham Lincoln.
If you want to talk about electricity, like we were speaking about earlier, the Aquariuses have this electricity about them. Their eyes. Okay, here we'll get into the appearance a little bit. Their eyes are the most electric and glowing. So I had two Aquariuses. Believe it or not, the two Aquariuses I grew up with, I was describing one earlier.
Yeah.
His eyes were really light, like really
Wow.
much lighter than mine, like icy cold. He had one friend that I was friends with until I got in a fight with this other. But they were both Aquariuses. The other Aquarius had even icier eyes, like a husky. They were like freezing cold, so blue, so bright. Um, yeah, any
So do you
photographer.
conflict with Aquarius as a Sagittarius?
No,
Okay.
Aquarius and Sag should be the most compatible for each other because Aquarius is with the wind, gone with the wind. They rule the wind. Their sign is like the flowing wind or the flowing water. The wind in the water is what a lot of people say. Wind moving the water is the glyph for Aquarius, the little waves. But sorry, what did you ask?
Does Sag, I asked if Sag or if you personally typically conflict with Aquarius, and you're saying no, they sort of
Hmm.
get along typically.
Yes, good for each other. Aquarius and Sag. Um, Sag is the sign that Aquarius is most likely to develop a connection. with, because they're the other sign of the zodiac that is like them, meaning like drifter. They're not, Sag isn't so much the loner, they're more the nomad and the traveler. But where Aquarius is cold and icy, Sag can be a little bit
Fiery.
more jovial and warm.
Okay.
So they can balance each other, but also harmonize in a lot of ways. But Aquarius is also do well with Aries. And, according to some, Leo, depending on the sex, the arrangement of the genders. But yeah.
Who does Aquarius conflict with typically?
Virgo, the same
Okay.
signs that Sag would conflict with, probably for similar reasons, because they're just too stable, too inside the box. Virgo, Cancer would probably be my first impulse. But this is just sun sign off the cuff.
Right.
You can never predetermine a friendship just off a sun sign. These are all just generalizations.
Right. Like what you said, I think in a past episode, there's 100, how many different combinations is there with astrology, considering there's so many signs, so many different planets? It's
right. Well, there's 12 sun signs. You have 12 moon sign possibilities. That's 144 right off the bat. And then you can definitely times that by 12 again for the ascendants, if not cubed or whatever. If it, I don't know. But basically, you should never feel boxed in by astrology, because you're not just 1 out of 12. You might have 1 out of 12 sun sign, yes, but then the moon sign on top of that makes you 1 out of 144. And that's a lot of personality types. And I don't believe in personality types at all, but I believe in the zodiac, because you can feel it, you can touch it, you can taste it. It's apparent.
Yeah.
So
the biggest thing for me with astrology lately is just when it perfectly coincides with my instinctual beliefs. Like, I had no clue about Mars in Virgo, right? I didn't know what that meant until a week ago. But once I realized what it meant, I was like, oh my God, I'm totally doing Mars in Virgo right now. I'm working my ass off. And I need to do that at an instinctual level until November. And that's correlated with the zodiac. So for me personally, it's like just when my instincts coincide with what's going on in the sky, it's like, whoa, we're sort of starlight creatures. You know what I mean? So that's what I love about it. And that's why I love learning about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of, Aquarius rules, which rules astrology, also rules awareness. So Aquarius awareness. Aware, right? Aquarius awareness. But to be aware, conscious, these things, this is ruled by Uranus and thus Aquarius. So conscious spirituality, that's why this whole movement, everyone wants to be conscious now. And you even have conscious communities going after each other. And it's, that's the age of Aquarius. Everyone's going to be aware. Everyone's going to be conscious. And and it's a good thing. I'm not trying to be pessimistic or write it off. It's a good thing, but there's a lot of fakers too. So
big time, because Aquarius seems to rule sort of knowledge in a sense that if you conflict with their version of knowledge, that's when they might dismiss you or totally not associate with you, it seems like. Because if you're sort of an Aquarius that's more on the LGBTQ, this is my knowledge base, and they meet somebody else that conflicts with that, it's kind of like they don't like that, it seems.
Aquarius tends to be very tolerant, but to the point of intolerance, if that makes sense. Kind of like the whole leftist movement today is all tolerance is going to be the mask which tyranny wears for the next age, next 2,000 years. So we can get used to that. You already have that, the virtue signaling, right? It's all about Aquarius rules broadcasting. So it's all
Wow.
about broadcasting the fact that you're a good person, or that you're
Yeah.
nice, or that you're conscious, or that you're aware. Where there's because remember, Aquarius rules plasticity, or plastic surgery. Aquarius rules that too, plastic surgery, artificial enhancement, things like that. So John Travolta is an Aquarius, very
Wow.
plastic looking guy with those icy. I don't know if his eyes are even blue, but he has that icy look in his eyes.
Totally.
Very
He was in
cold.
that classic movie Face Off, which is like the most prototypical plastic surgery movie.
And yes, we said we were going to talk about that. Perfect. So Nick Cage is a Capricorn. What's the
And
other
then
guy?
John Travolta is an
John
Aquarius.
Travolta is an Aquarius. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Capricorn, Aquarius. The cusp of that is January. So Capricorn ends in January. Aquarius begins in January. So they're back to back right there in January. January comes from Janus, who we were talking about earlier. Janus is the janitor, the doorkeeper, holds the keys to all the doors. That's the janitor. Okay. That's Uranus as well, right?
So they did a
This
perfect like face off essentially
this is
between their
this is
signs
the
and those two
god.
guys.
This is the god that has two faces. Janus has two faces. One face over here, another
Yeah.
face over here. So the face off is perfect. A lot of people might think, oh, well, that reminds me of Gemini, swapping faces. But you got to remember, Gemini rules like two things in one body, whereas this is a complete shifting of identities, complete. And they go back, they swap them back. So it's like
Funny movie.
that's the god Janus, or
Yeah.
goddess. It's Janus is often androgynous.
Yeah. It's interesting when you use the word signal. So like it's sort of a way it's a nonverbal communication essentially when you're trying to put on an act, a plastic act so other people see it to communicate a message whether it be electronically or in person.
Hmm.
That's a little fascinating thing about Aquarius.
Yeah. Let me check my list here. Weird, just the word weird is also the word Aquarius. So, or queer. So weird, queer is the same word, and it comes from Aquarius. Awkward, weird, Aquarius. All goes back to Aquarius. Also, you have Acrian, we were saying about meaning three legs, Triacrian. Well, Acria is Aquia. Acri. It's just a little dialect. Then you have Achilles. So Aquarius, Achilles, whose mother held him by his ankle and dipped him into the water. So that's your Aquarius Achilles connection. And let's just go down some more celebrities. There's another thing about Aquarius and sports that some people don't like to hear. You know, I'm a Sag, so I'm reluctant to say it, but Aquarius is everyone who's ever been the best at a sport, the greatest of all time by far. Okay. I know we were saying greatest of all time means GOAT, which is
Right.
Capricorn, and true, because Capricorns work really hard to get where they are. They're the GOATs. They worked really hard. They climbed their way up. Aquarius is, you touched on the good word already, are the freaks of nature. They are talented to the point where they don't need to work as hard as everyone else. Whereas a sign like Capricorn, a sign like Virgo, are a little bit more likely to be pushing the goalposts forward slowly, and they get there and they earn every dime along the way. Aquarius is a little bit more like the freak or the alien, the angel who just fell down from above and can do everything. But they tend to be overly dominated in one field. Okay. But
Yep.
let's just look at this list of best. Let's just look at the sports for right now.
Okay.
Michael Jordan. Now you might disagree with him for best, right? I know you
Okay.
might want to say Larry Bird or something.
No, I'm going Kobe. I'm a Kobe guy, but I put MJ at number 2.
Me too. I like Kobe too. You're right. He's a Leo, so you can't go wrong with that. But Kobe was, I would say, a much harder worker than MJ. MJ was a little bit more, I could be wrong, was a little bit more of the talent, whereas Kobe was infamous for being in the facility all
Yeah.
night long. First one there, mercilessly ridiculing people who wouldn't work as hard as him and stuff like that. So,
I got some good Kobe stories. Yeah, I was a big Kobe fan. I heard this. Speaking of what you're saying, sometimes he would take out the rookies, and he would go out with them. He would go out and party or whatever, and then after the end of the night, it'd be like late at night. Kobe would be like, "All right, you're gonna come work out with me." So he would take the rookies after going out with them, and he would take them to the gym and just work them into the ground, and be like, "All right, I hung out with you. You're gonna hang out with me now." And he would just work, work, work. He had crazy, crazy, crazy workouts. Crazy. So man, yeah, that's incredible. So fucking
mhm,
Michael Jordan's an Aquarius. That's
mhm,
wild. And I gotta say, I can't there's not that many other dudes who look like MJ. He has a distinct look, you know?
mhm. And what do we call him?
Um,
Air Jordan,
oh wow.
jumping up in the air. He's the skyscraper, the air.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So launching, takeoff, jet propulsion, that's all Aquarius. So Air Jordan, Aquarius. Okay.
Wow.
That's, we could just roughly call him the best basketball player,
Yeah, easily, yeah.
even if it's up there with 3 or 5.
90% of people would say he's the best. People can
Okay,
debate
agreed.
that all day long, but 90 to 95% would say that.
Agreed. We'll just throw him up there as best.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's one where we're not going to have as much dispute. Wayne Gretzky, okay,
Wow.
is a Aquarius, right?
Are you fucking serious? Wow.
Not kidding. Yes, serious. Wayne Gretzky, Aquarius. Now, lacrosse, okay?
Okay.
Everyone knows who the best lacrosse player of all time is, okay? Casey Powell. Casey Powell is the best lacrosse player there's ever been. The only potential other best lacrosse player is his brother, Mikey Powell, but Casey Powell is an Aquarius. And he played for longer, coached more teams, has done all this stuff, gone to all these different um, programs, and he's just the best. He's like the godfather of lacrosse. And when they do scenes, or were doing scenes, lacrosse scenes in movies in like the 90s and 2000s, he was the stuntman for like all of them, doing
Wow.
tricks with the ball and stuff like that. His brother's like that too, but Casey Powell, Aquarius, yeah. And let's just look at some other ones. With football and soccer, I'm going to have to look them up because you'll see.
Vince Carter is another. Vince Carter is an Aquarius. He's probably the definition of a freak
Oh,
athletically.
oh wait.
Peyton Pritchard, he's an Aquarius.
Okay, here we go. Freaks who they called this guy the freak. Randy Moss, freak. Okay,
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Then you've got
Tyler Hero is a pretty good one. He's a Miami guy or a Florida guy.
okay. All-time greats are all Aquariuses. Wow. Bleacher Report even has an article on this.
No shit.
Yeah. Babe Ruth, Aquarius.
He's a freak, and he has a very distinct look for sure.
Babe Ruth, Aquarius. Total caricature. Hank Aaron and Jackie Robinson, all Aquariuses. Okay. Then you've got football. Jim Brown, Aquarius. Okay. You've also got Lawrence Taylor, who's perhaps the best defensive player of all time, debatably. Yeah. And basketball, we've got Michael Jordan. You've got Bill Russell and
Wow.
Julius Irving.
Wow.
Hockey, Gretzky. Okay. Golf, Jack Nicklaus. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. Tennis, these names don't ring a bell for me. Bill Tilden,
Don't know.
Don Budge. Bill Tilden and Don Budge.
Don't know
Swimming.
those guys.
Swimming. Before Mark Phelps was all that. Mark Spitz was known as the best, who is Aquarius.
Wow.
Diving, greatest diver of all time is Greg Louganis or Louganis, who is an Aquarian. But yeah. Now soccer, I'm gonna have to pull up. Okay. It's easy. Ronaldo is an Aquarius.
No
So
shit.
Cristiano Ronaldo is an Aquarius. Then you have Neymar. I don't know his last name. Neymar.
Yeah.
Neymar from Brazil. They actually have the same birthday. Them two.
Wow.
Luis Suarez and Gianluigi Buffon, Robert Baggio, and Romario. Romario? I don't know how to say it, but yeah.
Wow. So that's incredible. I'll list off some sort of B team freaks with basketball. Well, not B team. Vince Carter's a freak. He's another Aquarius. Peyton Pritchard, he's on the Celtics. He's sort of a freak, and he's an Aquarius as well, as is Dante DiVincenzo. So those are some sort of other sort of anomalous characters within the NBA that are also Aquarius.
Yeah. This makes me want to look up some musicians too. Aquarius musicians, singers, songwriters, they have a very distinct voice. You'll find they're nasally. Here, you and I are going to do that at some point too, is go through paintings of the Zodiac, like painters of each Zodiac sign, how their paintings show their Zodiac sign.
Wow.
And then musicians, hearing how the musicians, the Zodiac sign comes through their songs, things like that. So Aquarius musicians, you have Paul Stanley, right, of Kiss. They're so Aquarian. Kiss, Paul Stanley, all about the city and the night and the dressing up like cartoon characters. It's very Aquarian. Let's see. Billy Ocean, you've got Logic. Aquarius rules Logic, right? So
Logic sucks. He's like so mediocre.
Exactly.
He's like, yeah.
Same. I hate him too, but
yeah, me too.
Logic's terrible.
Yeah.
Sam Cooke. I don't
Okay.
know much. I don't know much about trigonometry, right? He's got this song about
Oh, no way.
about
That's so
learning,
funny.
educating, and love and stuff like this. You've got Steve Perry of Journey, total Aquarius. It's all flash, thunder, and super high pitched, very like androgynous, and yeah. Steven Adler of Guns N' Roses. Yeah, let's see who else we have. XXX Tentacion, total.
Whoa.
Very Aquarian.
Super Aquarian.
Here's another thing with Aquarius is you'll see they flash in and then fizzle out really quick. So a lot of the time.
Wow.
With the football players, I was going to throw in Robert Griffin III.
Wow.
Did he win the Heisman or came close?
I know he was a candidate. I know he was at least a candidate. He might have won it, but he was definitely up there.
So
he was for Baylor.
He was supposed to be like the
He's supposed to be like Michael Vick with an arm and with intelligence. That's what he was hyped up to be.
Mm-hmm. But what happened? He just disappeared. Came,
injuries,
flashed down, and just zipped, gone.
Yeah.
Injuries, you're right, but yeah. So they can show up on the scene very fast and then disappear very quick, like lightning.
Wow.
But
the XXX Tentacion, that's a huge one that really encapsulates Aquarius to me. Very anomalous, very freakish looking. He was all about knowledge. I wrote like 15,000 words on that dude. So I know a lot about Jose Ricardo Onfroy. Okay. He's from Florida. Yeah. Big time Aquarian. Wow.
Yes. And you'll find Aquariuses are like rebels and revolutionaries. So revolution, total Aquarius band. But rebellion and revolution. So rebel and revolt, right? So yeah, whatever. Let me go down this list a little more. Neil Diamond, okay. You've got who else? Alicia Keys, right? Keys, Janice, the god of keys and opening doors and things like that.
Wow.
Last names, so you don't want to give those too much emphasis. But man, Eddie Van Halen, total Aquarius, just revolutionized guitar, flash of the gods, hit his guitar board, fingerboard of his guitar, and he's just, playing it like it's a different instrument than anyone's ever played it. And yeah, Eddie Van Halen, very Aquarius, the revolutionary guitar player. Everything. And he even was taking like classical music and making it electric and just like making a farce out of it too. It was just very Aquarian, eclectic, totally. And you've also got Mike Patton of Faith No More. Okay, if you don't know
Don't
who he
know it.
is, Mike Patton of Faith No More is no other person in the world is more of a cartoon character than
Huh.
Mike Patton of Faith No More. He's
I
like
gotta look it
a
up.
very skilled musician who makes just like diarrhea music for fun. I don't know. Very eclectic, very bohemian,
Wow, he
very
does look like a cartoon character.
very left field. Always, yeah. He's like Johnny Rotten. They're all about like this shock. They're all about shock value. They want to shock people like electricity. They want to
Yeah.
shock with their looks and presence. Mozart is an Aquarius. So Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. If you ever watch the Mozart movie or Amadeus, whatever it's called, he's all like, "Ooh, ooh." He's like very whimsical and childlike and androgynous and total Aquarius. Mozart, they did good with that one. And let's see who else. You have J. Cole, who I hate. He makes me
J.
gag.
Cole
But
is
he's all
so
about
lame.
this. So
He looks
lame,
like he
but
looks like
he's
a cartoon character too. He looks like Sideshow Bob with his dreads now. It's like
mhm,
he's trying to be poor, but he's not. It's like, dude, stop. You know?
yes. He's all about like that fake humility, but
He's
also
so fake. Yes.
he's all about that conscious vibes. Like, man, we gotta think, and I'm never gonna curse in any of my songs because we gotta think and shit, man.
He's like fake woke, fake deep. He's kind of,
Yes,
that's interesting. Fake deep is Aquarius because Pisces is the
yes,
real deep. Aquarius is the fake deep.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the plastic versus the yeah, plastic versus the fish. Fish ate the plastic. Plastic's what's
Wow.
killing the fish. Wow,
That's
it's a good
incredible.
connection right there. Plastic versus the fish. Aquarius versus Pisces. But he's all about that like this just bland conscious rap that's like
Yeah.
it's like
He thinks
call
it's
it
deep, but it's not, you know?
it's yeah, his idea of like fighting the system is like him and other black people graduating from college. Like,
Oh, right. Or,
you know
hey,
what
if
I
I
mean?
sell a bunch of records, we're really rebelling. Or he'll like literally perform at like a Democratic, like he'll perform at a Democratic Party function and be like, yeah, I'm rebelling against the system. It's like, dude, you are the system, J. Cole, you know?
I don't I don't even know what his politics are. I just hate the fake conscious awareness act. But
Hmm.
he's a total Aquarius. Aquariuses tend to be tall too. He's a tall guy. He's good at sports, from what I
He can
hear
hoop.
too.
He can definitely hoop.
Yeah. So you've got Nick Carter of Backstreet Boys. Okay.
Wow.
Rick Ross. I'm a boss. Okay.
Rose.
Yeah. He's like
He's got hits.
I'm the best. DJ Khaled's a Sagittarius. Total Sag.
Okay.
How didn't we talk about DJ Khaled for Sagittarius? He's big. He just keeps putting on weight. He's expansive. We the best. He's like, we're number one. No one else, man. And then that's so Sagittarius. But then Rick Ross is like that same energy, but a little bit more confident, a little less like materialistic, but still material,
Very,
still like
yeah.
still successful.
Yeah.
That's very Aquarius. He's much more like,
He's more business savvy and he's got
yeah,
a very unique voice.
he's got a little bit more Patrick Bateman to him. He,
Big time.
he's an Aquarius. Gucci Mane also an Aquarius.
Wow. Big time freak,
Yeah.
tattooed an ice cream cone on his face. Do Aquariuses have issues sometimes with substance abuse because they have sort of a reclusive nature maybe and they kind of just
I
maybe
mean, it depends. I think they can just have more of an ego issue or like a going off the rails issue. Like you know, spending 10 years following a band on tour, or like going
Okay.
to every festival in a single year and just draining themselves dry.
Yeah.
I think they're just more with the wind. Gone with the wind is perfect. They're with the wind, up in the air. That's their mottos, and I don't see them as a specifically substance abusive sign. To me, those tend to be Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Pisces.
Wow.
Tend
So
for different reasons, all for
yeah,
different reasons, but yeah.
I gotta say though, Gucci Mane is more Patrick Bateman than Rick Ross. Gucci Mane actually killed a guy in self-defense. And there was like a news recording where they were reporting on his verdict, and he like put that on a track, a diss track. So yeah, he's pretty Patrick Bateman, that Gucci.
Damn. And he was also, I think Gucci Mane was in Spring Breakers with James Franco.
Yep.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah. Sarah McLachlan, Aquarius. Adam Lambert, Aquarius, androgynous, right? Charlie Wilson, riffraff.
Let's
He's the
go.
king Aquarius. He's the
Let's
king of
go.
Aquarius. He's who they were trying to play in Spring Breakers too.
Right.
And so yeah, he is the ultimate Aquarius. He's going to
He
be
really
on
is.
he's going to be the thumbnail for this. He knows he's an Aquarius too. Everything about him, it's like Dolce Gabbana Dolphin Boy,
Or it's like,
or the
you know, I got
tangerine
yeah. He's
tangerine
like,
this
I got the Fruity Pebbles, ruby red,
neon icon.
pineapple flavored. Yeah, I bought the Neon Icon album. I loved it. So Riff
So-
Raff, when you listen to this, huge fan.
Here, so Aquarius rules Neo, like from the Matrix, like Neo entering, destroying. It rules neon, Neo, neutrality, Neo,
Yeah.
what's new. So something is nuo, or, you know. But then you also have unique. If something's a unique or unique, if it's unique, unique. So why am I bringing this up? Neon icon. Neon, the lights, all of this is ruled by Aquarius, but also androgyny. So Neo is where you get neutrality. Neo is also the root for unique, eunuch. But yeah.
Wow.
And the
Jody
EU.
High Roller. He is the definition of Aquarius. That's incredible.
He
and
is.
I can't help but think about the connection with electricity and being the greatest of all time. There has to be some sort of connection there to be able to perform at such a high level.
Oh, yeah.
Electricity must be involved.
You mean Thomas Edison? Also an Aquarius?
Whoa.
Okay. Or Aquarius is, you know, they feel it. How about this? You tell me who you think is an Aquarius. I can feel it coming in the air
Phil Collins?
tonight. Yes, Phil Collins. In the air tonight. It's in the air. Like the energy, the tension in the air. So Aquarius.
Maybe
he was
Aquarius.
He was in a band called Genesis, which
Yeah.
Gen goes back to Janus, or Juno too, but Genesis, Genius, Janus, which rules like
Maybe Aquariuses can literally harness the electricity from the air. That's what allows Michael Jordan to fly through the air, Wayne Gretzky to fly through the ice so super fast. Bizarre theory, but it came to my head.
They're also aquiline, meaning they're bird-like, eagle-like. If you're aerodynamic, that's kind of like saying something's aquiline, like it's shaped for penetration or pursuit or flight. Aquiline, so Aquarius, yeah.
Wow.
Big connection there. And just go down this list a little more. Kid Cudi.
Okay, wow.
Kid Cudi is about this electric, he's totally eclectic, gender bender. All the Aquariuses are very androgynous.
And he likes to freak his night by himself alone. You know what I mean?
Yes. Loner, stoner, Aquarius. So John Lydon is Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols, like we were talking about. Justin Timberlake, we were talking about.
Let's go. JT.
Okay. Big Boy of
Outcast.
Outcast. So they have that song. They have that album, Aquemini.
Oh, and their
Aquemini.
name is so Aquarian, Outcast.
Yes. So they're a Gemini and an Aquarius. Andre 3000 is a Gemini. Big Boy is an Aquarius. That's where you get Aquemini. Harry Styles, okay, total chode, but androgynous, and no one looks like that guy. No one
Nobody.
has a face like him. Lisa Marie Presley, Rick James, total Aquarius. He's like the riffraff of black people. Rick James, right? Then you've got Shakira, shock era Shakira, right?
Wow.
Shakira. You've got Lil Debbie. You have Sean Kingston.
Okay.
You've got Alice Cooper, total Aquarius. Remember we said like Kiss with Paul Stanley? You got the makeup, you got the caricature. They're like cartoon characters. And let's see. So yeah, Alice Cooper, Gavin DeGraw, Duff McKagan of Guns N' Roses, total cartoon character. Kevin Gates, another rapper. You've got Axl Rose, ultimate Aquarius. And guess who else? If you know Axl Rose, he's got the voice. Aquariuses have the most nasally, otherworldly voice. Like, what the hell am I listening to? Axl Rose is like that. You know who else is like that? Just like Axl Rose, almost the same exact era. Vince Neil of Motley Crue, also an Aquarius. Up high, singing out of like the back of their nose, like just very strange voices. So they're cartoon characters. They have this icy, just polar look about them too. Very white. Aquariuses have this icy skin, icy eyes, icy. So yeah, Bob Marley, right? You also have Rick Astley. So Aquarius rules memes. Rick Astley is the meme guy. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Whatever, how it goes.
That song, yeah.
So that's getting Rick rolled, right? Like Rick Ross, Rick Roll.
Oh, you know what's fake about Rick Ross was the fact that he took somebody else's identity. There was Freeway Ricky Ross, who was like this guy who got supplied drugs by the CIA. And then Rick Ross just took his name. So it's kind of like this fake deep. He's kind of fake deep because he was famously a corrections officer, awesome musician. His songs are awesome. He's got a great voice. He's a great rapper, let's be honest. But there is sort of a fake deepness to the rosé.
Sully Erna of Godsmack. Garth Brooks. Okay, Garth Brooks is, people say he's ice cold. There's nothing there. He's just like, okay, whoever's heard Tom Segura make fun of Garth Brooks, go look this up if you haven't. It's hilarious. I don't like Tom Segura that much, but he does Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks has these iced out eyes, man. Hey y'all, thanks for coming to the show, man. Great to see you. He's got these iced out serial killer eyes, and that's Aquarius. He's in it.
Dude, Riff Raff has super light eyes.
He calls himself the Husky. I said early on, Aquariuses have like icy husky eyes. He's
got 2 huskies, I think. He might have 3. The Aquaberry boss. He calls himself Aquaberry all the time, probably because of Aquarius.
Yes, absolutely. He does. Aquaberry is Aquarius. Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park. That's like the rapper dude. Like, hey man, it's like Japanese and just like very techie and next gen, like total Aquarius. You've also got Gucci Mane, like I said. Henry Rollins of Black Flag, also very cartoonish caricature. Peter Gabriel. Okay, so not just Bob Marley, but Peter Gabriel. Wait, no, Peter Gabriel. Is that the reggae?
Peter Gabriel is the climbing up on Salisbury Hill. Dun, 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 dun. I can see the city lights. That's
right.
Peter
Okay.
Gabriel.
No, sorry. He was with. I'm thinking of someone else, Peter, or someone Gabriel.
Okay.
Reggae guy, but it wasn't Bob Marley that he's with. He was with Phil Collins. So Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel were together, if I'm not mistaken, in Genesis. So 2 Aquariuses in one
Whoa.
band called Genesis for Janus. Genesis. Hello. So yeah, we don't have to go through all of them. That's a good
So
good list.
I have one question to ask you
Hmm.
about the age of Aquarius. We're gonna
Sure.
see a lot of weirdness, aren't we? It's
Yeah.
gonna get really weird.
A lot of weirdness. People are going to keep building up. The skies are going to get a little bit more crowded. Okay.
Okay. That's
Relationships might.
interesting. With all the fake UFO stuff, they're sort of mimicking the age of Aquarius in a sense.
Relationships might get a little bit more shallow.
Wow.
Aquarius rules divorce. So when the age of Aquarius came, everyone's getting divorced. Long-term commitment is like a joke. It's like a funny concept. Now, and I'm not saying that's how it's going to be. I'm not saying
Right.
we shouldn't resist that. We should hold true to what's human. But this is why these things are coming. And here's another thing about Aquarius. With the LGBT and the androgyny, we got to understand for so many people in the world, they only can understand things materially in the mundane, base, gross form. When they are receiving a new impulse on this earth that is coming from above and is instructing them, is compelling them they're receiving this androgynous, both male and female influence from the age of Aquarius. Now, if you don't read any books, if your horizons are very low, your box is very tight,
Yeah.
and you're receiving all that influence, you can only express that androgyny materially, physically, in the body. And if you don't have the correct vocabulary or higher learning to bring that androgynous impulse into, because what I'm getting at is, in this age we're having a union of the male and the masculine and the feminine. We're having a union, kind of a canceling out effect. Now that should bring about the best circumstances possible for philosophy, because Sophia's a woman, right? So Sophia philosophy, and male and female nullifying each other should bring about the perfect ecosystem for learning. Because I'm not like saying there's anything wrong with being male, but masculinity, when too high and too hot, might be a little bit too more geared towards combat. An age of combat, like a very masculine age, will be an age of combat and warfare and things like that. A overly feminine age or matriarchal societies, the men won't be allowed to thrive, and the knowledge and the learning and the achievement won't be as great. However, there might be more discipline and subservience, and like a lot of people getting behind one task, like the pyramids or something like that. However, in Aquarius, we're given the unique conditions where neither masculinity nor femininity is taking a prominence, is going to be prominent. So this should allow us to bring about as much learning, information, debate, because men and women are equal in this age. It's kind of the point I'm getting at. So we can have open discourse about all these things. That's the good potential of the androgyny from this age. The bad potential is people who don't have those wide horizons, who don't understand this impulse of, oh, well, talking to women as if they're equal, or talking to men, or not seeing boundaries on an intellectual level. Well, they don't have an intellectual level, so they don't see male female boundaries on a physical level, meaning all this influence of masculine and feminine going together is being received by people, vessels, who are not, who have not raised that vessel to a high enough degree to where they can understand the impulse, and that it's an intellectual, philosophical work that needs to be accomplished, right? You rearrange kind of the way we approach knowledge and learning and education, and that's happening. But what else is happening? The people who are too materialistic are chopping their genitalia off because they think that is the male canceling out the female.
Whoa.
And it's all relative, and we don't need any.
So they're getting caught up in the age of Aquarius, and it's not. They think it's good, but it's not that good for them. It seems.
Well,
Whoa.
they're receiving that impulse of male canceling out female, and they're only understanding it materially. Okay, so
Gotcha, man.
that's really it.
So honestly, Aquarius is awesome. When I think about all these incredible athletes and these incredible rappers, freaks thrive under Aquarius. And you know what we're doing here with Astro-CHADS is prototypical Aquarian, where we're communicating, you know, over a vast distance, and we're learning about astrology. Astrology is Aquarian, and I just think it's a fantastic sign that I didn't know much about going into, but now I know a ton about it. And the Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky stuff, that was the most mind-blowing to me, and its connection to electricity, I feel. But incredible. Any closing thoughts about Aquarius?
No, I think we got it.
The freaks come out at night, it seems, with Aquarius. So looking forward to Pisces, man. So Astro-CHADS.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the farther we get back in the zodiac, the more there kind of is to say. The wider the parameters are with the end of the zodiac. Pisces is the deepest, has the most depth, the most width, range. So Aquarius is almost there. So yeah, Pisces, we should have, we did almost an hour and a half of straight content with this one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome, man. All right, guys. Take care.
Have a good night, y'all.